Hi, this is Mark News from Plant Talk Radio. Thanks for subscribing and listening to our podcast, Your Gardening Questions from Plant Talk Radio. If you have a gardening question you'd like our host Fred Howard to answer, send him an email. The email address is fred@planttalkradio.com. Now for today's question. Back to this issue of the Japanese beetles eating the knockouts. Knockouts are really hardy. That's why everybody loves them so much. They're hardy and they just bloom like crazy. Should she prune any of that off or do anything else to the plant, or just let it alone and let it regenerate?
Okay, that's a very good question, Mark, and I think she can let nature guide her on that. Now, number one, this would be an ideal time to cut off stem tips and a little bit of dead tissue and so on. Uh-huh. But I would be inclined, with them being home from vacation and now some time has passed, that the budding should have started again. I would cut off only that's particularly badly damaged, something that is not regrowing, something that was left there hanging dead. I would clean up the plant. It would also be, and I think I mentioned it last week, where as a matter of business, we had to move 30 roses in late June, in full flower, etc., and we kept them all alive. But I didn't speak to how bad they looked for a while. And this, it was not the Japanese beetle, it was the landscape crew that I just told them, cut these babies back by 1/3, period. Don't even put much finesse in it, so that we don't have a lot of succulent foliage drawing for water that can't be supported. That and digging out the plants with a great big clump of root, which she won't be doing, but so that we can keep the roots going, stop the top growth from waning because of injury. Now her plants probably won't get into that stage, but they'll still look a little ragged, and yes, she could prune them. Watch for the tiny little buds, because if the stem is out, new stem is out 3 inches, it'll start showing flower buds already, and I would let those go ahead and mature. But yeah, there's some cleaning up that would probably have to happen.
Hey, thanks again for listening to our podcast. Be sure to subscribe to our other podcasts as well, the Plant of the Week podcast and the Plant Talk Radio podcast, all on iTunes or your favorite podcast player. If you'd like to sponsor a daily podcast, contact us at fred@planttalkradio.com. To find out more about Fred Howard and Plant Talk Radio, visit our website, planttalkradio.com.
This is Michelle Wilson, host of the Business Inspires podcast from the Tri-Village Chamber Partnership. To run a successful business, you need resources, valuable connections, and community recognition. In each episode of the Business Inspires podcast, we talk with small business community leaders who will inspire you to create the business you are envisioning. The Business Inspires podcast is on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, your Alexa device, and your favorite podcast player.
Circle270media.com